Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam. This is the craziest shit to happen in running this week. This week's stories include cancellation of the North Face Endurance Challenge California, FKT season in Grand Canyon, and a Rickey every single street update. Well, it happened, folks. Smoke and unhealthy air quality from the Northern California fires canceled the 2018 the North Face Endurance Challenge California. They had to make the difficult decision race week after it was apparent the extremely unhealthy air quality would not improve in time. When I arrived in San Francisco Wednesday, it was noticeably bad and only seemed to get worse through the weekend. Instead of jogging through the hills of Marin, we wore masks just driving around in our cars. Instead of a San Francisco Running Company group run, we collected donated items for the fire victims. It was a weird weekend up there in the Bay Area, and definitely one that makes me thankful for clean air. Kudos to the North Face team for handling the cancellation so well. They offered rollovers to any of their upcoming races in 2019 for participants and even donated the entire $30,000 prize purse to the relief efforts. This effectively ended many athletes' 2018 running seasons without a final hurrah. Some were able to find last-minute replacement races, while others took their fitness to non-race efforts such as FKT attempts in Grand Canyon and Zion. The first to make a splash was Swedish runner and two-time TNF 50 champ Ida Nilsson. She was already training and relaxing in Flagstaff prior to heading to San Francisco, so she decided to take her fitness to the Big Ditch. She dropped into the Grand Canyon one morning, ran across to the North Rim, then returning to the South in a time of 7 hours, 29 minutes, and 16 seconds. This betters Kat Bradley's FKT from last year for the double crossing by 23 minutes. Also making a run at the double crossing FKT just a couple days later was Sandy Nypaver. She made things interesting with a finish in 7:33:05, which was also under Kat's time from last year, but not quite enough to dethrone Ida. What's that? Just in, we are seeing reports that the FKT has just been broken again. It appears that Taylor Nolan of Flagstaff just ran the double crossing in 7 hours, 25 minutes, 58 seconds for a new FKT. I guess my only question now is, who's next? Instead of Grand Canyon, Clare Gallagher took to Zion for the FKT on the Trans-Zion Trek, aka the Zion Traverse. It's a 48-mile journey one way that was completed in 8 hours, 1 minute, 24 seconds, which is a 25 improvement upon Joelle Vought's time. Following up on last week's show, both of these are perfect examples of the FKT movement. They compare times across well-known and repeatable routes in areas where organized permitted races are impossible, such as in these national parks. Instead of attempting an FKT, Chris Mocko, Stephen Kirsch, and Catlo Shippick jumped into Mesa, Arizona's Pass Mountain 50K, and along with Charlie Ware, all went under the course record there. Kirsch, with a few-minute lead after the first 25K lap, seemed to be cruising in for the win when a hard-charging Chris Mocko came in for the big win, crushing the last 4 miles in sub-6-minute pace. His finish time, 3 hours, 29 minutes. On the women's side, Roos Karsmeyer, who was also slated to run TNF 50, won in 5:19. A third option for some was to simply organize their own fat-ass 50Ks to replace the one lost in Marin. Jonathan Levitt, aiming for his first 50K, would not have his training lost due to the smoke and cancellation. He put the word out, had some help putting together a course up away from the majority of the smoke near Truckee, and turned it all into one big fundraiser. The North Face latched on with a matching dollar amount, and the Donner Party 50K was off and running. I myself attended, getting in 20 miles, all the while accompanying Schuyler as he continues on his 2,000-mile quest. Yes, I'm going to do an update every week until we get him there, folks. As of this recording, our guy has run 1,562.7 miles. Anywho, Jonathan Levitt got his 50K done and raised over $16,000 thus far. Kudos, my man. Heading east, Zach Miller was a last-minute entrant into the JFK 50 mile, also happening the same weekend on sloppy trails on the East Coast. He took things out pretty aggressively, as usual. It was quite an exciting 3-man race for much of the contest. Eric Sensman, last year's winner, found himself leading off and on, with Jared Hazen sitting pretty just behind the 2 race pushers. About 35 miles in, Zach threw in some interval surges, testing Eric's will, until he broke him. Scent's been dropped, but Zach would soon feel the effects of the bold move, and Jundred cruised on ahead to win in a second best all time, 5 hours, 34 minutes. Miller would finish second in 5:41. On the women's side, Kate Pollardi won in 6 hours, 40 minutes, gaining the lead in the final 9 miles. Casey Lichtai was second in 6:53. Despite the smoke and deteriorated air quality in San Francisco, Rickey Gates continued his Every Single Street project to run all the roads in the city of San Francisco over a 6-week period. He's about a third of the way through now, and I had the pleasure of running with him for 4 miles. It was quite interesting as Rickey had his head buried in his phone or his maps for much of the run, paying close attention to streets he's already run and not to miss ones as he moves methodically through each neighborhood. He's challenged those tuning in to run their own city or zip code before he wraps things up in a few weeks. What do you say, Outhouse Nation? Would you run every single street in your town or zip code? If you use Strava, you can check out what you've already covered on your personal heat maps page. I'm doing it. My zip code, 85020. Now for a slightly tape-delayed recap from Maya Ray of the Havalina 100. Take it away, Maya.
Thanks, Jam. It took me a while to recover from Havalina. My goodness, what an epic event. I had so much fun. This reminded me of when I was at Burning Man in 2005. Things got crazy. First off, let's talk about the atmosphere. So amazing. Jubes and the staff just absolutely take this to the next level. Put this race on your list, people. I was dancing, drinking hot cocoa, eating pizza, playing beer pong. Not playing beer pong. Second off, let's talk about the race. Patrick Regan, good Lord, buddy, I tried to give you a high five, and all I saw was a blur go by. So fast. You ran so fast, you caused Mocko to drop-o. See what I did there? Playing on words. Mocko, I wanted a pic with you, and you left me hanging. Sorry your race didn't go the way you wanted. I still love C-Money. Props. Darcy, amazing. You rock. Girl power. I love watching you lap my dad like 5 times. You had an amazing race. Dirt Diva, 10 times finisher. Best costume? What can't you do? And finally, my dad. If there's a race to be DNF'd, you bet your money he'll DNF it. Hashtag old and slow. Dad, nice work powering through that, you old fart. Walter and Jill, you rock. Hashtag van live. Love you guys. See you all at Black Canyon. Look for my dad. He'll be toward the back. Get it? Because he's old and slow. This is the buckle, by the way. Peace.
Wow, Maya, loving that sweet, sweet green screen. You're welcome back anytime at an Aravaipa race. See you soon at Black Canyon. A new Mountain Outpost challenge is coming your way shortly. Let's just say we had a free Sunday morning in San Francisco thanks to the fires, and spent it running around at a mini golf course. Coming soon. While I've yet to see an official announcement, the Western States 100 did state via Twitter that due to the cancellation of the Sean O'Brien 100K, the Canyons 100K will become the final golden ticket race for the 2019 season. Speaking of Western States, theirs and Hardrock lottery totals are out and it's looking grim. More people than ever have entered the Western States 100 lottery, a total of 5,879 entrants with 20,153 tickets. For those of you 3,139 one-ticket holders, that's a bit daunting. It's a 1.47% chance. Even worse, we've got 30 entrants with 64 tickets who've now been applying for 7 years. They probably won't all get in. If you've entered Hardrock, they've published the ticket counts. Be sure to head over there and verify they have the correct number prior to the lottery next week. They also usually post odds, soon to be out this week. A quick update on my Backyard Ultra. We're testing out the hand-built trail loop in my yard that was measured to be 137 meters by USATF measurer and race director of Zangray 50, Joe Gallopi. The test run kicks off Black Friday for an 8-hour fixed-time event. We'll have results and footage next week. And with that, thanks for tuning into episode 120 of Outhouse News. Thanks for checking out the show, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share or a question or feedback for the show, please leave a comment below. If you'd like to directly support the show financially, consider becoming a Patreon supporter of this channel, or pick up this custom pair of Jam Jam's bacon sunglasses. Link below. Have a shitty week.